Professor Harikrishna Bhatt Alevur, he born in Temple Town, Udupi, studied in our prestigious technical educational institution, that is presently NIT K Surathkal. Earlier it is NIT National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, KREC it was. And presently he is at Tokyo, Japan, and he is in Japan for the last more than 4 decades, that is 44 years rich experience in Japan, and he is presently the Director of International Collaborations, Nitte University, and also he is a member Career Guidance Committee and member Board of Studies in Humanities, Nitte University, as well as he is past Vice President of Wipro Japan and past President of HCL Japan. So after completing his BE from NITK Surathkal, PG and Research Fellowship also, and PG and Research Fellowship he obtained from most prestigious Japanese Ministry of Education, Monbuso, scholarship in electronic instrumentation from National University of Kagoshima, Japan. So without going to Japanese language school, he became proficient in Japanese language also. He can read, he can write, as well as he can give prolific speeches in Japanese language also. And to add cherry to the cake, he has been the top performer in his various companies wherever he has worked. So he was called Indian Tiger of Japan, the chairman of Nidec Corporation Japan. He has written this in Nikkei, famous Nikkei newspaper in Japan also. So with this brief introduction, I introduce Professor Harikrishna Bhatt Alevur. You are welcome to the show, sir. India and Japan, if you compare, lot of comparative things we can see where we stand and where Japan stands. So we can take Japan as a role model in various aspects also. The country with no religion, no caste system, no creed and community system in Japan. That is the first and foremost thing I would like to say. And population in India presently 146.7 crores, whereas Japan it is 12.31 crores. Area of country, that is Vistirna. So India is 7th largest vast country in the world, and Japan is 62nd largest country. That means India is comprising of 32,87,263 square kilometers, but Japan is only 3,77,975 square kilometer, 1/10 of the space. But still the achievements are plenty. Democracy, type of democracy in India, federal parliamentary democratic republic, whereas in Japan it is constitutional monarchy. GDP, India's GDP is 4.27 trillion. Japanese this GDP is 4.39 trillion. We are little bit near now, we may cross also. GDP ranking, India is the 5th largest economy in the world. Japan is the 4th largest economy in the world. And unemployment, India it is 8.18%, Japan it is 2.4%. GDP per capita, India $2,940, that is around 20,000 per month. Japanese is $35,610. So that is more than 25 lakhs. Okay. Per annum, that is nearly 2 lakhs plus per month. GDP growth rate 6.4%. India, Japan, it is 1.14% presently. Debt to GDP ratio, India is very safe, 82.5%. Japan 255.2%. Forex reserve, India has $638 billion, whereas Japan has double than India's forex reserve, that is $1,240 billion, that is $1.24 trillion. Ease of doing business index, India stands only 63rd place, whereas Japan stands 29th place. Tax to GDP ratio, the people who are paying taxes in India are very less, 6.6%, but in Japan it is 34.4%. Inflation rate in India 4.31%, Japan it is 2%. Life expectancy, India 67.74 years, whereas Japan it is 84.85 years, the highest life expectancy we can say. Population growth rate, India plus 0.89%, Japan minus 0.5%. Fertility rate 1.94 births per woman, here in Japan 1.23 births per woman. Sex ratio 106 males versus 100 females, Japan 95.13 males versus 100 females, females are more. Then literacy ratio 80-85% in India, 99% in Japan. Then carbon emission per capita 1.65 metric tons of CO2 per person, which is significantly lower than the global average, whereas in Japan 8.28 metric tons of CO2 per person, it is on higher side. Air quality index, India ranks third worst air quality, Japan 22 AQI, one of the best air quality. Airports, India 220, Japan 98, but 1/10 it is. Like when compared to that, our airports are less. Human Development Index 134th out of 193 countries. India is far behind, whereas Japan 24 out of 193rd countries. Crime rate, India 81st rank and Japan only 10th rank. Military ranking, India 7th place, whereas Japan it is 4th place. Internet penetration, India 52%, Japan it is 82.9%. Hospital beds per 1000 people, 0.6 hospital beds per 1000 people in India, whereas 12.6 hospital beds per 1000 people. Police personnel per 1 lakh people, 153 police personnel per 1 lakh people in India, 255 police personnel per lakh in Japan. Road network 6.37 million kilometer, Japan 1.28 million kilometer. Doctor patient ratio, India 1:836 patient, here it is 1:374 patient. Dollar conversion ratio, India $1 is equal to 86.67 Indian rupee, whereas Japan 152.33 Japanese yen. 1 rupee is equal to 1.76 Japanese yen. The currency of Japan is yen. With this brief introduction, let us continue our discussion. On behalf of entire viewers, sir, I welcome to the show once again. You are in Japan for the last 48 years.
44 years.
44 years. And in India, of course, you are born in India. So how you distinguish Japan and India? How the people's, how people are how whether they are friendly or whether they are not much mingling with the people. Can you just distinguish between Indians and Japanese?
Okay. India and Japan both are in the same what we call Asia, whereas we are in the South Asia and Japan is in East Asia. When it comes to the people, we are two different groups. Like we are Indians, we are say majorly Hindus, whereas Japan is mainly Mongolian breed and caste-wise, not caste-wise, religion-wise, they are Buddhists. And when you compare the people, we cannot really compare the people, each other. I always say I have two bhumis. One is my Janma Bhumi, that's India, and Japan is my Karma Bhumi. I spent 25 years in India, 44 years in Japan. So that doesn't mean that Japan is superior to India. Well, between Japan and India, as you have already explained, it's more than 10 times in population, more than 10 times in the area. But for me, my experience of living 44 years in Japan proved that Japan is the most advanced, technically advanced country where people are very sincere, obedient, determined, and disciplined, moreover punctual.
They maintain time, respect time.
Yes, it's not only the people who maintain the time, even the vehicles, the trains, flights, everything, they will be on dot.
Excellent.
Yeah. Just to maybe give an example of this punctuality of trains, the bullet train started running in 1964. Now it is already 61 years.
What is the speed of bullet train?
The speed of bullet train is now 350 kilometers, and the next generation will be about 500 kilometers. And they have linear motor car which runs in 1000 to 2000 kilometers per hour.
Oh my God.
And the future train will be...
What is that linear motor car?
Linear motor car means actually it starts running in the track, and within few seconds it will be elevated to the magnetic field. So there is no friction. So that makes the speed to go to about 2000 kilometers per hour. And now the new technology will be the trains running in vacuum. That will be 4000 to 6000 kilometers per hour. And when I talk about this punctuality, as I mentioned, the bullet train started running in 1964. It's 61 years. And I am proud to say that the average delay for these 61 years is just 18 seconds.
Oh my.
Of course, the
natural
natural disasters like earthquakes or heavy rains and strong winds, this all will not be counted in this average delay. Otherwise, it's 18 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. As I have studied about Japanese people are like shock absorbers.
Yeah.
Why no? There were a lot of what we can say that they have suffered a lot in Second World War. On 6th and 9th August 1945, USA detonated 2 atomic bombs over Japanese 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and this bombing killed between 1,50,000 to 2,46,000 people. Then Japan, of course, surrendered immediately. That time there was a kingship.
Yes.
And thereafter they became 1946 a new constitution was established as democracy, and king is just like a president of India now.
Yes.
And democracies by the parliament elected people, that is the change. Emperor become only a symbol of the state, no power, power is vested with the government.
Yes.
And after this incident of bombing, then in 2011 tsunami, thereafter many earthquakes, many mishaps happened. In spite of that, one should appreciate that Japan has again bounced back, rising like a phoenix from the ashes. How this people get all these shocks
Yeah.
and still they are able to um, bounce back.
Yes.
Can you just say what are the good qualities of
Okay.
people, how they bounce back?
Right. You see, the people are totally tolerant, and they are the, I think from me, you see, I have visited maybe more than 40 countries in the world, including US, European and Asian countries. But Japanese are the most hard-working people. And in Japan, they say, at least for the employees, they say company first, friends second, and family next. India, it is the other way.
Karmanyevadikaraste.
Yeah, Mapale, Karmanyevadikaraste, yes. And this hard work, and of course, in between 80s and until 2000, they were totally workaholic. So they don't mind working whatever now our Narayana Murthy or somebody else says 70 hours a week, 90 hours a week. It was more than 90 hours a week for Japanese during 1980s and 2000s.
What is the reason?
They want to achieve their targets. So whatever they promise, whatever they commit, they will do it on time. So these hard works make them to compete in the world and to become number one in the world.
That is excellent. This I think from this shocks and all,
Yeah.
how Japan became the leader
Yes.
because of maybe because of economic reforms,
Yeah.
focus on exports, and shift from monarchy to democracy. And this period of rapid growth is known as Japanese economic miracle.
Miracle, yes.
So that has happened in Japan.
Yeah. You see,
Right?
before this, whatever the Hiroshima or Nagasaki bombing, actually the little rude country, I should say, now I cannot say because it is the other way, Japan was trying to rule the world. Hitler was doing in Germany, but Japan went occupying or doing wars with all the neighboring countries.
Very ambitious.
Yes,
Ambitious.
I should say, including Korea, Philippines, and they came all the way up to Myanmar. Fortunately, the war ended in 1945, and they could not come to India. That was a very good turning point, because today India and Japan, we are in very good terms, whereas the other Asian countries still, they have some feelings, bad feelings about Japan, that Japan ruled us, they destroyed us, they whatever. So after this Second World War, 1945, after this Hiroshima, Nagasaki bombing, and major cities were actually fired with fire bombs. So Japan was totally collapsed or made to burn in 1945. But at the same time, America found that they can do wonders with Japan. That is the good thing what America had done. I think now what I remember is Japan pumped $2 trillion to make Japan. They think, or
That
the
means even though they put the bomb,
yeah.
they realize that what they have done is wrong, US people.
Yes.
Again, they only handholded Japan
Yeah.
to grow to
Yes.
this level.
And they saw that there is a potential in Japan. So they pumped this money. As I mentioned, 1945 to 1964, within 19 years, they ran the first bullet train between two major cities, which is covered by 450 kilometers, which I think nowhere in the world can happen even today. So, America pumped this big money and made Japanese to work. And it's not only the bullet train which I am mentioning, but in all sectors, all industries, including electronics, automobile. Everywhere Japan has become number one until late 1990s. As you know, even today for electronics and automobile, Japan is still number one.
Okay. This litigation part here for small property dispute litigation, crime rate is more, and all these disputes are more.
Yeah.
Many cases are pending in court for decades.
Yes.
What is the position in Japan in that case?
You see, Japan, there is normally, for small issues, there is no litigation. Nobody will go to the court. They will either compromise. Only for the major issues, they go to the court. And for me, to be very frank, Indian courts are very irritating. As you mentioned, it takes 4 decades. Even I have my own 2 or 3 cases pending since 1974.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's the land issue. It has come from land tribunal to high court, court, high court to back to land tribunal, again back and forth.
Again remand, they don't do anything,
yes,
again.
Yes. And the files never come up. Okay, let's forget about India. But in Japan, this will never happen. There are courts, of course. There is a district court, high court, and Supreme Court, just like ours. The system is same, and there is a family court also. And things get settled very amicably. And when they give the time in the court, for example, this case is adjourned to so-and-so date, so-and-so time, they give the time also. They will give, say, 11:30 to 12, that is the hearing time. And it will start at 11:30 and it will close at 12 because the next party will come at 12. So, and of course, it may take some time, maybe a few months to 1 year, 2 years, depending on that case. But justice is given. Justice is not delayed. In India, we say
neither
justice
delayed nor denied.
Not denied, yes, yeah. And regarding the crime rate, of course, Japan is considered as one of the most peaceful countries in the world. Today, even, I should say, even a lady, young lady, can walk into any major cities, even in the midnight, 12, nobody will bother. And unfortunately, if anybody is to bother, it will be some foreigners who are residing in Japan. So I should say crime rate is, I should not say crime rate is 0. There are, even the ex-prime minister was killed by a notorious guy. So crime rate is there, but it is very, very minimum, very small.
Okay, very nice. People say when Indians go to Japan, there are 2 challenges.
Yes.
Other than 2, there are 3 challenges. There is, first is language. Japanese, they don't understand English, Hindi or any other language. Common language of communication, very difficult with the Japanese, they say. And it is very difficult to learn the Japanese language also, people say. Another thing is food. Especially vegetarians, it is very difficult. So there, everywhere that is non-vegetarian and fish, they are consuming more. Vegetarian, they say that it is very, very difficult there. Third thing is, it is very costly country. So you should have a lot of money to be there. Is it a truth or a myth? Can you just elaborate on this?
Well, it's both the truth and myth. When it comes to the language, yes, unlike in India, we have, I think, 22 official languages, 325 standard language, 2,184 dialects. That's the data I got from internet. But in Japan, there is only one language, that is Japanese. And any Japanese who go to the school up to the university, they study English for 12 years. They study English for 12 years, but still, why they are not speaking? Because English is not required at all. During, I mean, in their personal life.
But when they go out?
When they go out, certainly they will master their English. And Japanese returning from Europe or America or some English countries, they speak perfect English.
Okay.
And well, regarding the Japanese language itself, I should say it is easy, but at the same time I should say it is difficult. For a normal person to communicate in Japanese in the society, it will not take more than 3 months. Even if he start from 0, as long as he is interested in learning Japanese. It's even in my case, I think I picked by my Japanese when I went to Japan. My Japanese was 0, except the word sayonara, which is, of course, I knew that sayonara from that old Japanese movie,
sayonara,
Kannada movie.
Sayonara.
Yes, Love in Tokyo.
Okay.
So except that word, I did not know even a single word of Japanese, but within 2 months I could communicate
What
with
is
the
sayonara
people.
means?
Sayonara is goodbye.
Ah.
Goodbye, yeah. And many companies, of course, they ask whether you are good in Japanese, but most of the companies where now I am doing or I am sending our university graduates to Japan, where I frankly tell all these companies that you should not bother about Japanese language, no N level, JLPT level.
So that means language is not a barrier.
It is not a barrier for technical people, I should say. Of course, when it comes to the home helpers, nurses, or blue-collar jobs, because they have to communicate with the same level of people. Especially, for example, if nurses or home helpers, they have to communicate with the old senior people. So they should know Japanese. They should be fluent in Japanese. But again, within 1-2 years, they will become fluent in Japanese. They don't have to go to even school.
We have one caller. Shall we attend one call? Hello.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ರಾಮರಾವ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ರಾಮರಾಯರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Because of Donald Trump policy, those who are going to USA for job may shift to Japan gradually. Next, now population in Japan is decreasing. I was told that for engineers in automobile and IT, there is good scope. In what are the other fields job opportunities are there for men and women? Next, whether for skilled laborers like electrician, vehicle drivers, opportunities are there. What about quality of life and job satisfaction? Thank you, sir.
Okay, very nice questions our Ram Rao has raised.
Yes, yeah.
He is a productivity council president.
Yes, yeah.
He always asks productive questions.
Okay.
So
yeah.
today also he has asked some good questions.
Right, yeah.
Now his first question is, now because of Donald Trump policy,
Yeah.
America first.
Yes.
That is the policy in
Yes.
now US
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now all illegal migrants and all is sending
Yeah.
back also.
Yeah.
Now whether there is much scope to move to Japan, whether there is any opportunities in Japan.
Yes, you see, in 2018, when our Prime Minister Modi visited Japan, we had an agreement with India that India will send 5 lakh engineers to Japan in 5 years. Then all of us know in the world that because of Corona, COVID-19 or whatever we call, this has totally stopped, almost stopped. But still, people were sending engineers and skilled people to Japan. But from now, from 23, 24, this has been drastically increasing.
Okay.
So in spite of what Trump says, there is a big demand for skilled people in Japan. As far the data says, by 2040, Japan needs 1 crore 20 lakh, or I should say Japan has a scarcity of 1 crore 20 lakhs people, laborers. And by 2040, Japanese population from the present 12 crore will again decrease to less than 10 crores. But and out of this 1 crore 20 lakhs scarce of people, they need about 69 lakhs from foreign countries or from outside Japan. So not only for technical people, as Mr. Ram Rao mentioned, even for electricians, drivers, there are very good scopes. But for high-skilled technical people like engineers, designers, Japanese language is not a barrier. But for drivers and technicians, language becomes a barrier which they have to learn.
So if they want to learn now Japanese language,
Yeah.
many people say many coaching institutions, they loot money
Yeah.
and they make money by
Yes.
Japanese. Even after taking so much money, they are not learning the language also so proficiently.
Yeah.
What is your opinion about this, and how this can be, they can overcome this problem or challenge?
You see, now, as of course I know, I can't name any, but there are many or maybe hundreds of language institutes in India who guarantee jobs in Japan. If they say you will learn Japanese for 6 months in our institution, your job is guaranteed. I know many, even in Facebook or LinkedIn, in whatever media, social media, there will be a lot of advertisements. Of course, there are very good Japanese language schools. Were dedicated. They do online and they teach Japanese. So there is both mix of good and bad schools. But recently I have found that there are many online links where people can study Japanese by themselves. There are both audio and video links where learning becomes easy. So if anyone who has little interest in the language, he will certainly learn. Yeah,
And the main thing is how to learn is because of communication.
Yes.
I think how you learnt Japanese language without going to the workshop or the schools.
Well, in my
school.
case, as I mentioned, I started with zero after reaching to Japan, and I was there as a research student. And my professor insisted that you should not speak in English with me for the other students. So you are forced in a way to learn Japanese, and the communication with the other people, your counterparts, is the best way to learn Japanese. And some of the video links, of course, they will be, reciprocal, like you can talk and the machine will reply.
How they are cordial, they have patience when you ask something.
Very, very patient, very cooperative, very supportive. And even if they don't understand what you talk, they will try to understand everything, and if they can't reply you,
They will not leave you unless you understand.
Unless you understand. And if you want to buy an item, they will, instead of saying you go to that corner, they will take you to that corner. For example, a police, if you ask him, if you miss the direction or if you miss the place, if you ask where is this place, he will come with you up to that place. And even if unknown Japanese will come with you, and he will drop you at that place.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent, very nice. That means hospitality, they are good.
Hospitality is excellent. Yes. And regarding the living, as another question, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Japan is an expensive country. I think you see there is no limit how much it is, but it's 3 to 5 times more expensive than in India. But at the same time, the salary is also 3 to 5 times. So we cannot say it's expensive. It is in par with the salary.
Then food aspects.
Food, okay. You talked about food.
Suppose a Shuddha Brahmin,
yes.
if he goes to Japan,
well, I am the best example. I am a 100% pure Brahmin, pure vegetarian. And I always tell our people who will be in Japan, who will be going to Japan, that I am the best example. I survived in Japan for 44 years as a pure vegetarian.
Which food, everything is available?
Everything is available. You see, Indian food is available, Japanese vegetarian food is available. Only thing is you have to make little compromise. Like when you go to a Japanese restaurant, if there is an item, say fried rice, they may have some little ham or little chicken. You tell the waiter that please bring without that. Please make this fried rice without that. And they will be obliged to do that. So there is actually, I should say, there is a minimum problem regarding the food. But all the time, all 24 hours, all 365 days a week, if you are employed in a Japanese company, especially in some remote areas, if you are expecting pure Indian vegetarian food, then it's difficult. But you have to manage for Japanese vegetarian.
You can cook in home? You can cook in home?
Yes. You see, most of the students or graduates who went to Japan through me from Nittei University, what they do is they cook in the morning. I'm talking about the vegetarians. They cook in the morning, eat, and the same stuff they will pack it in a lunch box and take for lunch. And evening after they come back, they will again cook.
Bread, jam and all available, no?
Bread, excellent breads, excellent jams, excellent biscuits, cookies, chocolates. It's all available at the very reasonable price.
Okay, very nice. Now we have one more caller, we will attend. Hello.
Hello, good morning. I am Madhusudan Bandarkar from Ashok Nagar.
Very good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear, please.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. Number 1, in Mangalore, is there any institute which teaches Japanese language? Number 1. Number 2, can foreigners own property in Japan? That's only these two questions.
Okay. You want to buy? Hello?
No, I want to learn Japanese first.
Okay, okay. Very
Then
nice.
I'll try to go there.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I love Japan because although I have not been there,
Okay.
because I had some pen friends and all in Japan.
Okay,
So
okay.
they are very nice people.
Okay, very
Although I
nice.
have not been there. So my dream is to visit Japan once.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
Now, for learning Japanese language,
Yeah,
whether
you
there
see,
is
the
any
question
institute in
is-
Mangalore, he says.
You see, Mangalore or Udupi, actually, I don't know whether there are any schools.
But
in
online
Bangalore,
they can learn, no?
But in Bangalore, there are many. And of course, in Udupi or Mangalore, my wife is the only Japanese teacher I know. But she teaches only in Nitte University for a set of students every semester. And what is the next question?
This one, foreigners want to buy
Foreigners.
property in
Yes,
Japan.
you see,
Suppose I want to buy one house
Yeah.
or shop in Japan, is it possible?
You see, foreigners sitting in their own country, it may be difficult to buy. But once you go there and once you have a residence card and once you prove that you have enough finance to buy, anyone can buy. For example, even I have my own house. I'm still a Indian, national, but still I can buy
They
property.
say that it is very costly to buy house there.
Well,
Space
again,
is very constrained, so it is very expensive.
well, again, it's like, as I mentioned, including that salary part, it is mostly in par with the salary. And big difference between India and Japan is the interest rate for buying a house or for taking any loan is less than 1%. I think now it is 0.54% or something like that. When I
Correct.
bought the house in 1991, it was 7.5%.
7.5.
7.5, and today, 3 years back, my daughter bought a house at 0.54%. Yeah.
Very nice.
And they have long-term loans, like 30 years, 40 years loans. So you will never feel that you are returning some whatever mortgage or something like that.
So rate of interest is the Japan. If you keep deposit, I think it is almost nil, no?
Yes.
Or 0.25% now.
No, actually, for fixed deposit, for savings bank, it is 0.01%. And for deposits, it's 0.1%.
Deposit 1%.
No, less than 1.
Not 1%.
Because the loan interest is less than 1%.
Oh.
0.54.
So that's why these businesses, they thrill there.
Yes.
Whether they get loan easily?
It depends on the business what you do, but you will get the loan easily because banks are waiting for you to borrow the money.
With collateral or without collateral?
With collateral.
Without collateral, they
Difficult. Yeah.
Huh?
You have to prove that how you will return the loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that is proved, you will get.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice. Madhusudan Bhandarkar, if you want to travel, you can
You are
learn
most welcome.
Japanese in now online also.
Online also.
And you can go. Then foreigners, if you want to buy house also, you can buy, but provided you should be a resident there.
Resident.
And your pen friends, you can spend some time with them, provided you should have enough money in your kitty.
Right.
Correct, no?
Yes.
Okay. Tax rates also
Yeah.
in Japan, income tax
Yeah.
and this GST or
Yeah.
whatever indirect tax, how these tax rates are there in Japan?
You see, tax rates for your income, you see, it's not like in India. Most of the people are employed. So there are slabs like in India. Up to certain income, it is 5%.
That is
and
up to
10%.
19,50,000 Japan yen, 5%.
Yes.
19,50,000 to 33 lakhs, 10%.
Yes.
33 lakhs to 69.5 lakhs, 20%. Yens. 69.50 yens to 90 lakhs yens, 23%. 90 lakhs to 1 crore 80 lakhs, 33%. 1 crore 80 lakhs to 4 crore 40%. Above 4 crore income, 45%.
Yes,
Tax
yes.
rate is much more
Yeah.
for higher income
higher
group
income,
in
yes.
Japan
Yes.
than India. India it is 30% maximum rate.
Yeah.
Then surtax is there 2.1% on tax for all.
Yes.
2.1%.
Yes, yeah.
Here surcharge is there
Yes,
above 50 lakhs to 1 crore, 1 crore,
Right,
2
yeah.
crore, 2 crore and
Yeah.
above like that.
Yes.
So maximum surcharge in new regime is 25% of the tax. here.
Right. And regarding GST, they don't have a term called GST. Japanese,
Consumption rate, I
we say consumption tax. Consumption tax is flat.
10%.
It is 10% on some items and 8% on some. So 8
concession
to
are
10%. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
8% and 10%, only 2 rates.
Only 2 rates.
Exemption is there, vegetable, fruits and all?
No.
No. exemption.
Minimum is 8%.
Oh.
Except some, for example, people who are selling in the streets or outside their vegetable field, they will not ask you to pay tax.
Okay.
If it is 100 yen, they will sell you at 100 yen, and of course, in turn, they have to pay the tax to the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. This and corporate tax also. It is low rate is 17.8%
Yes.
and high rate is 29.7%. Almost matching
Almost
with
same.
India.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but 17.8 is less.
Yes,
In
yeah.
India is minimum it is 22%.
22 and maximum is
22 and
40.
25 and
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah.
Plus surcharges are there. So that is the beauty this. And suppose if anybody wants to export goods
Yeah.
from India to Japan, what are all the, for exporters, what kind of goods they can export and what are the opportunities in Japan?
You see,
For here, Indians to
from
export.
Indians. You see, from India to Japan, I think the best 2 products, other than the steel and all, which we are already, I mean, iron ore, which we are already exporting.
Iron ore we are exporting.
Yes,
huh?
yeah.
Iron and steel products we are importing.
We are importing, yes.
Processing is taking
Yes,
place there.
yeah. There, I think it's 2 items. One is the, fabrics or dress materials, and that's textiles. And the other one is seafood. I read sometime before that
Leather goods also. the
leather
money is
goods, yes. And of course, all our diamonds
there.
and
Spices,
pearls.
fruits, vegetables.
Fruits, no, because there is a very strict policy of Japanese government to import fruits. We are missing, actually in Japan we are missing Indian mango. About 5-6 years back, they actually gave partial permission to import mango, but they saw that there are worms inside in the process, during the import process. Now
They are
this
very
totally
strict
stopped.
about that.
Very strict about food items. But still, processed items, processed food like our fish meal or something like that has very big demand.
Okay.
And what I read was out of every 4 prawns they eat, 1 prawn is coming from India.
Oh.
Yes,
Very
25%.
Textile, ready-made garments.
Yes, yeah. Especially the high value products like carpets.
So that is very good. Raw aluminum, refined petroleum.
Yes, yeah.
I think like your MRP or your Reliance
Exactly,
and
yes,
all.
because
can
they are
all-
already importers, though there are.
There is
very good demand.
no this one oil refinery, crude oil refinery.
There are,
petroleum.
yes. Yeah.
But still they are importing.
Still they import, yeah.
Okay. There is no electric vehicle because of this pollution issue of petroleum products. Electric vehicle is not there.
Electric vehicle now started coming. So it's both the combination of electric vehicle and driverless vehicles. We are using whatever artificial intelligence because of the lack of, again, manpower.
India also imports motor vehicle parts, of
Yes.
course, assembly here.
Yeah.
The standard companies like Honda, Toyota, Nissan,
Yes.
Suzuki,
Suzuki,
all these, I think more than 1,400 companies, Japanese companies are operating in India.
Yes.
Basically more in electronics, Sony,
Sony, yeah.
Panasonic,
Yes.
more in electronics and automobile.
Automobile, yeah.
That
These
that
are the 2 main areas, automobile and electronics from Japan.
Why Japan is so advanced in technology when compared to India? What is the reason?
I think it is their whatever mindset or intelligence in the innovation. When I talk about innovation, Japan is one of the very few countries where maximum innovations take place. Just to give an example of one innovation in 1978, when people were carrying this 2-in-1, those days we used to call 2-in-1, radio cum tape recorder. I think the present generation doesn't know what it is. And Sony's chairman, Mr. Morita, called one of his technical guys and told him, I want you to make a device which salary people can take in their pocket with their earphone, so that they can enjoy the music even when they are traveling in the trains. And he gave 6 months to this person. So this engineer, there's a big box, you know, our 2-in-1s are big boxes. They're like our, I don't know how the young generation will consider the size of the box. So this engineer, what he did was, for this big box, he drilled about 1,000 holes. He filled it with the fine sand and then removed all the sand to find out that much space is wasted in the box. Then of course he reduced the PCB size, he took the speaker out because the speaker was not required, and within 6 months he came with the device called Walkman. That's called Sony Walkman. Sony has the patent in that. No other manufacturers can call it as Walkman, they call it as different. Of course other electronic manufacturers came with different devices. So this is one of the best example of their innovation. So because of these innovations, in both electronics, of course, there are many items which of course, we don't have time to discuss that, which are innovated in Japan. So this is why they are number one in technology.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now I think we have to take little bit break.
Yeah.
Viewers, break के बाद
ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 5ರಿಂದ 28ರವರೆಗೆ ಲಭ್ಯವಿರುವ ಫ್ಯಾಬುಲಸ್ ಫೆಬ್ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿಯ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣವೂ ಮಿನುಗುತ್ತಿರಲಿ. ಚಿನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಯ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಶುಲ್ಕಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ 70% ವರೆಗೆ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ.
ವಜ್ರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ಗೆ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ರೂಪಾಯಿ 7,000 ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 1 ಗ್ರಾಂ ಚಿನ್ನದ ನಾಣ್ಯ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾರ ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಮೂಲಕ 20 ಅಪ್ರಿಲಿಯಾ ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಗೆಲ್ಲುವ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕ್ರಾಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿನ್ ಚಿನ್ನಾಭರಣದ ಖರೀದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಗೆ ರೂಪಾಯಿ 150ರವರೆಗಿನ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗೆಲ್ಲಿರಿ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಭೀಮಾ ಮಳಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ. ಷರತ್ತುಗಳು ಅನ್ವಯ.
ಈ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಯವಾದ ಫಲವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು ದೀಪಂ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚುವ ಎಣ್ಣೆ.
ದೀಪಂ ದೀಪ ಹಚ್ಚುವ ಎಣ್ಣೆ, ಸತ್ಯಾಂಶವಿದ್ದರೆ ಫಲವು ನಿಶ್ಚಿತ.
ಸಮಾರಂಭ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೇನು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಲು ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸಿದ್ಧ. ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಗಳ ಮಹಾ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ. ನಿಮಗೊಪ್ಪುವ ಉಡುಗೆಗಳು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್. ನೀವಿಟ್ಟ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ. ನೂತನ್ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್, ಮಡಂತ್ಯಾರು.
ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಚಸ್, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್. ಇದು ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಕೇರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕ್ಲಿನಿಕ್. ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ರೀತಿಯ ತ್ವಚೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಕ್ಯೂ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಲೇಸರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಲನೋ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಥೆರಪಿ ವಿಧವಾದ ಅತಿ ನವೀನ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್. ಅನುಭವ ಪಡೆದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್.
ವಿ ಕೇರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಲೇಸರ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಪೀಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಪ್ ಟು 30% ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕೇರ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಆಯುಷ್ಮಾನ್ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಮಂದಿರ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಸಾಂಕ್ರಾಮಿಕ ರೋಗಗಳ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ, ತುರ್ತು ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸೇವೆಗಳು, ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳ ತಪಾಸಣೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಸಾಂಕ್ರಾಮಿಕ ರೋಗಗಳ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ತೀವ್ರತರನಾದ ರೋಗಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊರರೋಗಿ ಆರೈಕೆ, ಅಸಾಂಕ್ರಾಮಿಕ ರೋಗಗಳ ತಪಾಸಣೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಬಂಧಕ ಕ್ರಮಗಳು, ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಮತ್ತು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ನೇತ್ರ ದೋಷಗಳು, ಬಾಯಿ ಮತ್ತು ENT ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಆರೈಕೆ, ಹಿರಿಯ ನಾಗರಿಕರ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಆರೈಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉಪಶಾಮಕ ಆರೈಕೆ ಸೇವೆಗಳು. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಾಗಿ ಸಮುದಾಯ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಾಧಿಕಾರಿ, ಪ್ರಾಥಮಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣಾಧಿಕಾರಿ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷಣಾಧಿಕಾರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರನ್ನು ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಆದ್ಯತೆ. ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಕುಟುಂಬ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ.
84ರಿಂದ 50 kg ಬಂದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೂ ಸಣ್ಣಗೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹೆಲ್ದಿನೂ ಅದೇ. ನೀವು ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಸೈಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಖಂಡಿತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಫ್ರೀ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಸ್ಲಿಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋ ನಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಸುವರ್ಣಾವಕಾಶ. ರೋಹನ್ ಸಿಟಿಯ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಖಾತರಿಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಂದು 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಹೂಡಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದಾನೇ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು 32,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಆದಾಯ. 75 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಹೂಡಿಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು 47,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳ ಆದಾಯ ಗಳಿಸೋದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ. ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಮಳಿಗೆ ರೋಹನ್ ಸಿಟಿ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್, ವಿಜಯ್, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಲೋರ್. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಾಗಿ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ 9844490100.
Innovation is the ability to change, to transform, and academic innovation begins here. We are at the forefront of excellence, creativity, technology. We create leaders that pursue their vision with a passion that knows no bounds, leaders that enthrall. Creating the future is one decision away. Are you ready to transform? Are you ready to transcend even the furthest of horizons? Where is your horizon? We are Todar.
The beginning of everything.
ಮೈ ಲಾರ್ಡ್, ನನ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆಯಿಲ್, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು
ಡಬ್ಬ ಡಕೋಟಾ ಆಯಿಲ್.
ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ.
ಈಗ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಆಯಿಲ್.
ಅದ್ಭುತ. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ನ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಎಣ್ಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಿ.
ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ ಬಳಿಗಳ ಸತ್ತಿದೆ, ಸಿಂಗಾರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ, ಸಿಂಗಾರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದೆ.
ವೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನ ಒಕೇಶನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಏಕ್ತಾ ದ ವೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೈ ಆರಾ.
ಗ್ರಾಹಕರ ಪ್ರೀತಿಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗಿರುವ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ 26 ವರ್ಷಗಳನ್ನ ಪೂರೈಸಿ 27ನೇ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಪದಾರ್ಪಣೆಗೈಯುವ ಈ ಸುಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ನೂತನ ಮಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಪ್ರಥಮ ವರ್ಷಾಚರಣೆಯನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಗ್ರಾಹಕರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಆಚರಿಸುವ ಸಂಭ್ರಮವೇ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ. ಜನವರಿ 22ರಿಂದ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ 22ರ ತನಕ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಭ್ರಮಾಚರಣೆ. ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ಗ್ರಾಹಕರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳ ಮಹಾಪೂರ. ವಿಶೇಷ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿಯ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳು ಬಂಟ್ವಾಳದ ಬೈಪಾಸ್ ರಸ್ತೆ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಮದುವೆ ಸೀರೆಗಳ ಹೆಸರಾಂತ ಮಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಖರೀದಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ಬಹುಮಾನಗಳ ಕೊಡುಗೆ. ರೂಪಾಯಿ 2,000ದಿಂದ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಖರೀದಿಗೂ ವಿಶೇಷ ಬಹುಮಾನ. ರೂಪಾಯಿ 5,000ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಖರೀದಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 689 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆಯ ತವಾ ಉಡುಗೊರೆ. ರೂಪಾಯಿ 10,000ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಖರೀದಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 1,299 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆಯ ಕುಕ್ಕರ್ ಉಡುಗೊರೆ. ರೂಪಾಯಿ 15,000ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಖರೀದಿಗೆ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 1,629 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆ ಬಾಳುವ ಕುಕ್ಕರ್ ಉಡುಗೊರೆ. ರೂಪಾಯಿ 20,000ಕ್ಕೂ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಖರೀದಿಗೆ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕುಕ್ಕರ್ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಶೇಷ ಉಡುಗೊರೆ ನೀಡಲಾಗುವುದು. ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿ ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಉಡುಗೊರೆಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯಿರಿ. ನೆನಪಿಡಿ, ಇದು ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅಂಚನ್ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಬೈಪಾಸ್ ರಸ್ತೆ, ಬಂಟ್ವಾಳ.
ಗೋಲ್ಡನರ್ಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟದ USFDA ಪಟ್ಟ.
10 ಅಲ್ಲ 20 ಅಲ್ಲ 80 ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಏಕೈಕ ವಿನ್ನ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ವಿನ್ನ.
ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ತಿಂಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತಮ ಆಹಾರ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿರಿಧಾನ್ಯದಿಂದ ತಯಾರಾದಂತ ಆಹಾರ.
ಗರಿಗರಿಯಾದ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ, ರಾಗಿ ದೋಸೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಡ್ಲಿ, ಪಡ್ಡು, ಉಪ್ಪಿಟ್ಟಿನ ಜೊತೆ ಚಪಾತಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಸಹ ಜೀನಿ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆನ್ಪಿರ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಪಿ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜೀನಿ ಕುಡಿಯಿರಿ.
ಮಾನವ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ರೇಷ್ಮೆ ನೂಲಿನಂತೆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬಟ್ಟೆಗೆ ನೇಯಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಟಿಎನ್ಸಿ ರಮನಾಥ್ ರಾಜ್. ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳು ಹೃದಯದ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಸೆಯುತ್ತದೆ.
ಎಸ್ಸಿಡಿಸಿಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಂಎನ್ ರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸಾರಥ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಸತತ 19 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಪೆಕ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ, 18 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಬಾರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಏಕೈಕ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳ ಜನರ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಾಲ ಯೋಜನೆ, ಗೃಹ ಸಾಲ, ಕೃಷಿ, ಹೈನುಗಾರಿಕೆ, ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಸಾಲ, ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ, ವಾಹನ ಸಾಲ, ಚಿನ್ನಾಭರಣಗಳಿಗೆ ಈಡಿನ ಸಾಲ ಹಾಗೂ ಇನ್ನಿತರ ಸಾಲ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಸುಲಭ ಹಾಗೂ ತ್ವರಿತಗತಿಯ ಸಾಲ ನೀಡಲಾಗುವುದು. ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಖೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿ. ಎಸ್ಸಿಡಿಸಿಸಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಚೇರಿ, ಉತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಸೌಧ, ಕೊಡಿಯಾಲ್ಬಾಯಿ, ಮಂಗಳೂರು. ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಭರವಸೆಯ ವ್ಯವಹಾರದೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಾಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಜಪಾನ್ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್ ಅವರ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಹರಿಕೃಷ್ಣ ಭಟ್ ಅಲೂರು, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕೊಲಾಬ್ರೇಷನ್ಸ್, ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ Wipro Japan and former President Wipro Japan of HCL. Sir, now we have already discussed about many aspects of Japan. Very interesting things you have explained. Now, students from India, if they pursue their courses in Japanese universities, which are all the courses are suited for them, and whether they get job immediately, and how much is the expense, and whether they welcome Indian students to the universities in Japan?
Yes, there are many universities, national universities and private universities, which actually welcome, they appreciate Indian graduates in Japan to do their post-graduation and doctorate.
We have one caller, shall we attend?
Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Gopal Mugare.
Good morning, good afternoon, sir.
Namaskara, Gopal Mugare.
Namaskara. We have with us Professor Harikrishna Bhatt Alevur, who is from Tokyo, Japan, with us. He is explaining all about technical aspects and what are all the opportunities in Japan for Indians.
Very good.
Gopal Mogare, you are Dr. Gopal, NIT Goa former director, no?
Yes.
You can ask your question, sir.
Yes. Namaskara, Harikrishna Bhatt.
Namaskara.
Yes, Harikrishna Bhatt is very special for me. The reason is, he's not only my good friend, he's my teacher. He was my teacher in NIT Surathkal also. He's my professor.
Oh, very
Namaskara.
nice.
I forgot it, but
that's why you have become so brilliant.
Now I have one straight question to Harikrishna Bhatt.
Yeah.
See, if you see the Indian population, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, if you see the Indian population today, it's about 140 crores. And the population of USA is 1/3 of that, is 40 crores. And Japan's population is 1/3 of that, that is 14 crores. But still, if you see the superpower in terms of technological development, Japan is number 1, South Korea is number 2, China is number 3, and 4th is USA, and India is never there in the list. What is the reason? Why this Japan is so special in terms of technological developments?
Excellent.
Hello?
Why Japan is so much technologically advanced, and why India is so much lagging behind?
You see, the issue is it's not about intelligence or it's not about IQ, but as I mentioned in our previous session also, it's hard work. And I always say
hard work, dedication,
determination, dedication, and discipline. These three items are actually inborn. Yes, devotion, of course. So this
4 Ds.
4 Ds, yeah. So this makes the Japan and Japanese to become, say, number 1 in the world. In fact, Indians may be considered are more intelligent than Japanese. But what I heard our our Supreme Court Judge Palkiwala, once I think he mentioned that Indians are intelligent but pervert.
Indians are?
Intelligent but pervert.
Perverted.
So, not all, of course. I should take your pardon to use that word. But when you talk about Japanese, they are not only intelligent but they are having all these 4D characters.
So, Gopal Bagara, line ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
Yeah. Probably on the light side, Indians do extremely well like Harikrishna Bhatt when they go to Japan. Probably I'm thinking.
Even lifestyle also he has told, discipline, how when we distinguish Japanese people and Indian people, can you just distinguish how they are obedient, disciplined, and how hospitable they are?
No, Indians, of course, I don't want to say anything minus or negative about Indians, but in many cases I find that we have a kind of ego. When, say for example, if you have done a master's course, if you have done a doctorate, or if you have become a professor, many of our people, I should not use the word most, but many of our people have ego that I am a doctorate, I am a doctor, I am a philosopher. But Japanese will never show that. That's the one big difference.
No ego.
No ego.
Then punctual.
Punctuality, of course, you see.
Done well in Japan and continue to contribute to the Indian population also. Namaskara.
Namaskara. Punctuality also they are very
Yes, punctuality, as I mentioned, they will never be late. In India, we know that we give all reasons like our roads
traffic
are jammed
jam.
and traffic jam. We give the main reason of traffic jam, but traffic jam is there in Japan also, and they take care of that. They will see that they will reach that destination at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes before the appointment, and they will wait at the reception. They will tell the receptionist that I am here, but my meeting or my appointment is at say 11, and at 10:55 he will again go to the reception and he tells he will ask for the people whom he wants to meet.
Okay.
So meetings will never be late.
Excellent. This now this one opportunities for Indian students we were explaining in Japan and Japanese universities. Can you just brief about it?
Yes, you see, the Japanese universities, both private and what they call national universities. Here maybe, I don't know, we call it as public universities, supported by the government. Both types of universities, they welcome our students, especially for M.Tech, post-graduation, and doctorate.
Not for undergraduate. And
undergraduate, there is a limitation. They need our people for undergraduates, but again, language will be a bottleneck. Because most of the teaching in undergraduates, these professors teach in Japanese. They know English, but because most of the students, or 90% of the students are Japanese, they will not understand if they teach in
You mean
English.
there is a very good scope for engineers to make post-graduation there.
Yes,
MTech
very
and
good.
all.
You see, now my own university, Nitte University, has MOU with more than 7 universities in Japan. So most of these universities, they are visiting Nitte and asking our students to go for MTech or PhD. For post-graduation also there are scholarship, both private and government scholarships. And for doctorate, they have the university scholarship itself.
Okay.
So internships, yes.
Excellent. We have one more caller. Hello.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ನಮಸ್ತೆ
ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಯಾರು?
ಇದು ಅನಂತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಶಿರೂರಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ನಾನು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಹರಿಕೃಷ್ಣ ಭಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷರೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಈಗ ಜಪಾನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನಿಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಜಾಪನೀಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾಗಿ ಆ ನಂತರ ಜಾಬ್ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಕಳೆದ 4 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಈಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಜಪಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೀಡೆ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ ಆಫ್
ಹೇಗುಂಟಂತೆ ಜಪಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಉಳಿದದೆಲ್ಲ?
ಗುಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ.
ಅವರು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಯು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿಸಿಟೆಡ್ ಜಪಾನ್?
ನಾನು ಕೂಡ 2 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಜಾಪನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ವಿತ್ ಮೈ ವೈಫ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿಸಿಟೆಡ್. ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್.
ಖರ್ಚು ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ?
ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಫುಡ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ, ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು 2 lakhs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ನಮಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇದ್ರಿ?
ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 12 days. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಹರಿಕೃಷ್ಣ ಭಟ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವು ಪ್ಲೇಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು.
ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು? ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಟು ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಜಪಾನ್?
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿರೋಶಿಮಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವು ಡಿಯರ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಗಳು, ನಾರಾ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು.
ಮೌಂಟ್ ಫುಜಿ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಜಿಂಕಾವಜಿ,
ಮೌಂಟ್ ಫುಜಿ,
ನಾರಾ, ಶಿಕಾಗೋವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟಾ ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ?
ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇದರ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಸೇ ದಟ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಈ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗೆ, ಗಲ್ಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ US ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಪಾನ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುದು ನೀವು ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಖಂಡಿತ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂಡ್
ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗುಡ್, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜನಗಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಉಂಟು.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು this MTech and other courses, how many years that is courses?
MTech is 2 years and PhD is 3 years, just like in India.
Okay. So immediately they get a job there?
Immediately they will get, the companies will be waiting for them to hire.
Okay, very good. So what is the salary structure?
You see, for engineers, the average yearly salary will be about 25 lakhs. That is about 2 lakhs per year. But if I tell the average salary amount,
2 lakhs per month?
Per month.
Indian rupees or yen?
I am talking about Indian rupees. And of course, if I talk about only salary, it doesn't give you the real answer as how much will be the expenses. You see, most of the companies give them almost free accommodation.
Oh, that is good. And accommodation then, free means is
yes, and then they will have to only spend for their whatever electricity and this infrastructure.
How is this electricity, water charge and all reasonable?
It's reasonable, very reasonable. And I always tell these students that if you determine, if you want to save, you can save at least more than 1 lakh per month. That means in 5 years you can make...
In the beginning itself?
In the beginning itself, yes. So it's not as lucrative as in US, but people can make a very peaceful living and make a decent saving.
Okay, we have one more caller. Hello.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನಾನು ಸುರೇಶ್ ಶೆಣೆ ಅಂತ ಸಮಾಜ ಸೇವಕ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ಸುರೇಶ್ ಶೆಣೆ, ಸಮಾಜ ಸೇವೆ ಜಪಾನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಉಂಟಾ?
ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತ.
ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ
ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಪಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೇದುಂಟು. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಜನ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಉಪಕಾರ ಸರ್.
ಏನೇನು
ಈಗ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್
discipline.
ಜಪಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರಿ ಒಳ್ಳೇದುಂಟು.
ಹೌದೌದು.
ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಉಪಕಾರ.
One more caller is there. We'll answer together. Hello. Hello.
ಹಲೋ.
ಯಾರು? ಹಲೋ.
ಹಲೋ, ನಾನು ಮೋಹನ್ ಕಿಣಿ ಅಂತ ಉಡುಪಿಯಿಂದ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಮೋಹನ್ ಕಿಣಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿ.
ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್.
ನೀವ ಟಿವಿ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಟಿವಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಚೆ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಈಗ ಜಪಾನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ 2 children, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್, ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ದಟ್ ಬೋತ್ ಮೈ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಪನೀಸ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ 2ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ 6ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿಸಿಟೆಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್.
ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್, ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್.
ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೇ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅವರಿಗೆ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕಲಿ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ, ಇದೆರಡನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು.
ಓಕೆ. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಜಪಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್?
ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವರು. ಯು ಸಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಾಟ್ I can say is that discipline is something which has to be learned by himself and by parents and teachers.
Correct.
And I am not finding our education system is lacking of teaching discipline. We are more concentrating on teaching more on technology, more on subjects, and sending the students to even cram schools or tuition schools. But do we really teach them the discipline? In Japan, it's not like that. Up to 6th standard, there are no exams. There are no exams. And these kids are taught how to live in Japan, how to live peacefully in Japan. And they are taught discipline. Even you can see a 1-year, 2-year-old kid after eating a small candy or chocolate, carrying its cover until the kid finds a dustbin. And here we don't see that. We don't. Even adults, they just throw it on the road, and then they say our municipality is not keeping the roads clean. They only make the roads dirty, and they say they blame the municipality. And this I always tell my students when I teach Japanese that there in Japan the discipline is so much, not only for human beings, even for the animals. If the dog is with its owner, and if it sees a red signal, the dog itself stops. If the owner wants to cross, for example, in the red signal, the dog will pull him back. This is how the discipline is.
How dog is taught this discipline?
They normally, the big dogs, they send to the dog school, and then they teach. So this is how the discipline is taught.
Dog school is also there, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Here you have given one idea. In India also we can start on dog school.
Dog school, but how about the human beings?
No, we should have dog school, dog owners school.
Dog owners school, yes.
How to be disciplined.
Right. And the other question.
And they shit on the road itself.
Yes, yeah. There the dog owner always carries one bag. So if the dog shits, then he will collect the shit and then he will clean it with the water. He always carries a bottle of water and a bag. The other question is about welfare, right?
Social security
Social
and welfare
security. You
measures.
see, Japan, all the people, whether they are employed or not, they are covered with social security. They have the pension system. They have the health insurance system. Even if the company, for example, if he is not employed in a company, there are two types of health insurance. One is the social type, other one is the national insurance. So they have to pay some amount. When they go to a doctor, 70% will be reimbursed by the country, 30% they have to pay. So it is very much taken care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Then we have one more caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Devdas Ray speaking, sir.
Dr. Devdas Ray. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳು. Can you ask your question?
Hello.
Hello. You can ask your question.
My question is. Hello.
Hello, please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Please.
What is the scope for the medical professionals, post-graduation, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಂತದೆಲ್ಲ in Japan, Indian for undergraduation and for post-graduation and ಹಾಗೆ and further scope for professional medical professionals in Japan, especially Indian.
Okay. Indian medical professionals, doctors, postgraduate. What is the scope?
Yeah, good question. But the issue with the doctors is that they have to deal with the patients in Japanese.
They should learn Japanese language.
Which is the main bottleneck. Today, I don't think I have found any Indian doctors there, unlike in US. There are doctors from China or Taiwan, of course, who are very fluent in Japanese. They can read, write, communicate. So other than language problem, I don't think there is, but whether Indian doctors are ready to master the language.
But recognition is there. Same doctors, they can go and give treatment there.
I think there is a system by the labor ministry. If the labor ministry approves, I think that should be possible. Because now some Japanese universities are talking about our medical MD or whatever course in Japanese university so that they can stay back in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a scope, I think.
There must
These
be
are
a
all
scope,
untapped opportunities. Now there are a plethora of opportunities in Japan, so far untapped, and because of this program, I think many people now gateway is opened for many opportunities now. Okay. Sir, now
India-Japan relation ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ India-Japan relations, how it started.
India-Japan relationship, that you can just brief.
Yes, you see, India-Japan relations started in year 552 with the introduction of Buddhism. And in year 752, 200 years later, there was a Buddhist monk called Bodhisena. He traveled to Japan. He traveled to the prefecture called Nara. He actually made the first Buddhist temple there. And then in 1868, there was a major restoration where Japan opened its doors to the outsiders. And our best example of relationship started in 1913 when one of our freedom fighter, Ras Bihari Bose, he ran away from India actually to escape from British because British was after his blood. And there he went and he got married to a Japanese lady. Then the British could not touch him because he got the nationality of Japan. And he introduced Indian curry there. Indian food was first introduced in 1913. And today Indian food is very popular in Japan.
Japanese and also they like.
You see, for any Indian restaurant, you can find more than 80% Japanese than Indians.
Which one? Idli, vada, sambar, masala dosa?
But there are South Indian tumba kadime alli. Only some 2-3 people from Mangalore or from Udupi. We have some 2-3
Which
people.
items are more?
They serve both idli, dosa, vada. And
North Indian dishes more popular.
North Indian dishes are more popular. If you ask any Japanese about Indian food, he will say naan. Naan and curry. That is their favorite food. Then, of course, in 1945, after the World War II, Japan was defeated and it was in the International Tribunal Court. And again, one of our lawyers, judges, Radha Binod Paul, he argued for Japan, that Japan was not at fault. But unfortunately, his mother died in Calcutta, and he has to come back during the court trial. And the American court took advantage of this situation, and they declared that Japan was bad. Japan made a crime in World War II, and they imposed a big fine on Japan. Afterwards, after 1948 until now, especially after 2000, this relations, our diplomatic relations were strengthened. Now for the last 10 years it is more strengthened, and we are expecting this relationship to go very good from now.
So now many Japanese companies, as I already told, 1,400 plus Japanese companies are operating in India. Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Suzuki, Sony, then your Yamaha, Panasonic, Mitsubishi, all these companies are operating in India, and Toyota Motor Corporation is the most valued company in Japan with the market cap of $244 billion US dollars. These are all the some highlights of Japan, we can say. Now I think now time is already getting up, so we will have one more such program in continuation to this program, part 2, during your free time sometime next visit. Sir, what is your message to Indians regarding opportunities in Japan, finally in brief?
Yes, as I mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities, not only for engineers, but also for high-skilled workers. Only the language will be maybe a barrier in some of the jobs, but for engineers, of course, there is no barrier of language. Those many people say, they need N4, N3 level alone, and which is not true, which I made as not true. So let's use this opportunity, and let's send more of our engineers and other professionals to Japan to decrease the deficiency of working population in Japan.
There are plethora of opportunities, plenty of opportunities for Indians in Japan, both in the field of engineering, even nurses also, skilled workers also. Fantastic scope is there. Only one barrier is that you need to learn Japanese language. If you learn Japanese language, half of your journey gets over. Remaining becomes very easy. With this small note, sir, on behalf of our entire viewers, we thank you very much for disseminating your knowledge and expertise with our viewers for opportunities in Japan for Indians. Thank you very much for disseminating knowledge for the last 90 minutes with us. On behalf of our entire viewers, Nammakudla channel, on my personal behalf also, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the viewers.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್, ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್, ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮಕುಡ್ಲ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಟಾನಿಕ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಈ ವಾರದ ಈ ಸಂಚಿಕೆ ಇದೇ ಬುಧವಾರ ರಾತ್ರಿ 9:30 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಮಗದೊಮ್ಮೆ ನೀವು ಮರುಪ್ರಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಕುಡ್ಲ 24/7 ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ 305 ಸಂಚಿಕೆಗಳು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಜನಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು, ಸಮಸ್ತ ಸನ್ಮಂಗಳಾನಿ ಭವಂತು. I am CA SS Nayak signing off.
ಆತ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ವಿವಿಧೋದ್ದೇಶ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಸಂಘ ಪಡೀಲ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ ಹಾಗೂ ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 33 ಶಾಖೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು ನಿರಂತರ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಸಂಘವು ಕಳೆದ 1 ದಶಕಗಳಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಠೇವಣಿಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ